You know, it's a weird paradox, right? Have you ever wondered why some people who earn a massive salary are constantly stressed about money, while others, on a totally modest income, seem to have complete financial peace of mind? Well, it turns out this has less to do with how much you make and everything to do with a hidden relationship between our stuff and our wealth. Okay, let's get into it. So picture two apartments, same city. In the first one, you've got someone making $95,000 a year. They're surrounded by expensive gadgets, closets are overflowing, but they are just two missed paychecks away from a total crisis. Then, in the second apartment, someone's earning just $52,000. They live a bit more simply, but here's the kicker. They have 18 months of expenses saved up. The person earning almost half as much has 10 times the financial security. So what is going on here? This isn't about who's better at budgeting or who has a better spreadsheet. Nope, it's about understanding a concept that most of us just never ever see.
Okay, so here's the core idea. Every single thing you own is quietly costing you money long after you've already paid for it. Think of the purchase price as just the entry fee to a very expensive club.
This is what we call the second cost. It's the collection of all these ongoing expenses in your time, your money, and even your mental energy that just come with owning things. And getting your head around this concept, that is the real key to building wealth, no matter what your income is.
So this second cost really breaks down into four main areas. You've got the cost to store it, the cost to maintain it, the mental energy it drains from you, and then the big one, the massive opportunity cost of what else that money could have been doing. So let's break these down. First up, storage. That treadmill you bought, it needs space. And in a city, that physical space can be worth up to $1,000 a year in what you could call implicit rent. You're literally paying rent on an item that, let's be totally honest, probably just holds your clothes.
Next up is maintenance. You know, a classic example is a boat. The rule of thumb is that annual maintenance, insurance, and storage costs about 10% of the boat's value. So that $30,000 boat is costing you $3,000 every single year. And that's even if it never leaves the driveway.
And then there's the mental cost. I mean, think about it. Every item you own needs a little slice of your attention. It's got to be cleaned, organized, worried about. And this isn't just a feeling, you know. Scientific studies show that visual clutter actually increases the stress hormone cortisol in your brain. Your stuff is literally stressing you out.
And this brings us to the biggest, most powerful hidden cost of all, opportunity cost. That $15,000 you spent on a fancy home gym, well, if you had just invested it instead, it could have easily grown to over $50,000 in 15 years. You see, you didn't just buy a home gym, you actually traded it for a huge piece of your future financial freedom.
Okay, so that's the problem. It's kind of sobering, right? But understanding the problem is always the first step to finding a solution. So let's look at the new playbook, a different way to think about building real, lasting wealth. In this playbook, it really just boils down to a simple three-step philosophy. You've got to rethink how you buy things, rethink what you already own, and maybe most importantly, rethink what your ultimate financial goal really is. So the first theme is all about buying intentionally. And listen, this is not about becoming a cheapskate or never buying anything nice again. It's about shifting your mindset from what does this cost to what is this actually worth to me? And this is where the cost per use rule just blows things wide open. Check this out. A $400 high-quality jacket that you wear 200 times, that costs you just $2 per use. But a trendy $300 gadget you only use twice costs you an absolutely insane $150 per use. So in any real sense, the more expensive jacket is actually the cheaper item. This one little calculation can pretty much destroy most of your impulse buys. Okay, theme number 2 is about owning deliberately. It's about what you do with the stuff you already have. Your home isn't meant to be a storage unit or a museum for past versions of yourself. It should be a curated space filled only with things that actually serve your life today. So how do you do this? Well, you can use a simple but super powerful filter called the replacement test. Just walk through your home, look at an item, and ask yourself this one question. If this thing disappeared today, would I actually spend money to replace it? Seriously, would you really go out and buy another fondue set? If the answer is no, then that item has negative value. It's costing you space and mental energy for basically no benefit. And finally, the third theme, which is maybe the most important of all, defining your goal. Because without a clear definition of what enough actually looks like for you, you'll just be trapped in this cycle of earning more just to spend more, forever. You're basically running a race that has no finish line. This means we have to redefine wealth itself. You know, the old view is about accumulation, what you have. The new view is all about optionality, what you can do. True wealth isn't a bigger house or a fancier car. It's the freedom to leave a job you hate, to handle a family emergency without stress, or to take a risk and start a new business. Every unnecessary thing you own is a direct trade-off against that freedom.
So when you put all of this together, it becomes a very clear choice. A choice you have to make about your financial future and what you truly, truly value.
You can choose one of two cycles. First, there's the vicious cycle. You spend money to get a little emotional relief, which creates financial insecurity, which then makes you feel stressed, which in turn drives more emotional spending. Or you can choose the virtuous cycle. You save, which creates real security, which reduces that psychological need to spend, which then allows you to save even more.
And let's just go back to our story from the beginning. That person earning 52 grand with 18 months of savings, they're not some financial genius or a wizard. They just understood these rules. They chose to ride the virtuous cycle, and it fundamentally changed their life.
So ultimately, it all comes down to this one question. It's a choice between owning less stuff to have more life, or letting your possessions own you and dictate the terms of your financial future. The math and the peace of mind that comes with it, well, they both strongly favor that first option.